Hello, good people traveling together on this hurtling ball we call Earth. As you can plainly tell, I am not Call Me Chato. I am Mr. Canoehead, Canada's greatest aluminum-headed crime fighter. I am substituting for Paul to review the final episode of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Warning, there will be spoilers. Of course, I have a natural affinity for Mandalorians. While they are not supposed to take their helmets off in front of others, it is impossible for me to do so, as this canoe was welded to my head by a bolt of lightning as I was portaging through Algonquin Park. Prior to that incident, I was an insurance adjuster. Now I fight crime. Yes, of course I know Mandalorians are fictional flights of fancy, but I view it as representation. There are so few stories about individuals with metal objects prematurely affixed to their noggins that I can relate to. And, as we now know from watching award show speeches and celebrity interviews, representation is more important than good writing, acting, or directing, which was also completely absent from this season's Mandalorian. That is what they call a segue. Most disappointing was to find that there are a faction of Mandalorians allowed to take their helmets off. Do you think I can take my canoe off? Do you not think I have tried? Paddle a mile in my canoe, buddy. It was comforting to see that Din Djarin decided that following the way of the Mandalorian was the right way to go. I get email from teen hockey goaltenders who never take their masks off because of bad acne. They look up to me. I tell them that their acne will go away and not to worry. It is the phase. And so we come to the end of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. After a confusing mess of episodes, the incomprehensible return of Grogu, we end up with a rip-roaring battle pitting all of the Mandalorians against Moff Gideon, who has been secretly using the Mandalorian's old homeworld as his base to return the Empire to its former glory by cloning himself. I really liked the final episode, mostly because it was fun, and it was better than the shows that came before it. There was lots of big fighting, set pieces, Grogu did some force thingies. It was all very silly, but enjoyable. Look, I'm not a reviewer. I have pedestrian tastes. I have all the Rockford files on VHS. I live in the real world. Oh, sure, I have a lonely existence until my parabolic canoe picks up cries of distress and no one swipes right for me on Tinder. But let me tell you, I would love me some of that Beskar armor. This aluminum canoe dents too much and too easily. Of course, we had a final set piece with Moff Gideon facing off with Din Djarin. Din was getting the worst of it when Bo-Katan came to rescue and took the fight to Gideon. Let me tell you, Bo-Katan has a nice set of pontoons. She loses her dark blade, which was sad, but it all made sense, as there is no dark blade in the Disney Star Wars trilogy, and I think this is my biggest complaint about The Mandalorian. In Seasons 1 and 2, at least up until the end, it was a nice space western along the lines of The Rifleman or Kung Fu with David Carradine or Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Season 3 turned The Mandalorian into a bridge between The Return of the Jedi and the Disney trashogy, starting with The Force Awakens. Who made that decision? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had given up on Star Wars a long time ago, and The Mandalorian was an oasis in a franchise I had once loved. While I enjoyed this final episode, and it hinted at Din Djarin returning to his mercenary origins for future shows, looks like he's stuck with Grogu. Honestly, it would have been great if Din and Carson Teva would have teamed up. Anyway, what do I know? I am just a Canadian crime fighter with a soft spot for poutine and shaved Montreal smoked meat. But try getting that all the way out here in the middle of my secret Algonquin Park lair. Skip the dishes does not come this far. So long, citizens, and don't forget, if you use the J-stroke too much, you will go blind.